100@gmail.
That was really close to the beginning of my email.
People are always getting
our email. That's why I get emails from you. Towards you. See you later. Maybe at the end, someone you just press the button. Turn on.
Okay. Which?
Well, you just turn the brightness up and then just turn it on.
Okay. Is it password protected?
No. Me? Never.
nice. Anything you can remember password.
There's really a lot of extra chairs in this chamber.
They're not extra. If people here that there's no use to it.
Well, for our purposes, there are a lot of extra chairs. Maybe they should separate for ground mountains. I guess that means more closets.
I'm going to have more than you need
That's good.
in place.
Okay. The document needs to be things.
Also, this is my paradigm, but I have not judged in a while, so start off a little slow.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
You still have this thing?
Yeah. Never gonna get to that, but very close. I should change it to a people code or something. That's good. I actually really but
Yeah, this was a light
dude, you want it?
Alright, I'm ready.
The advantages nuclear war happens now. First is accidents, historical near misses, and security failures. Through accidents are inevitable. It's only a matter of time. Deterrence fails as encountered irrational leaders new technology patching out from 19. Historical record provides ample grounds for concerning bleeding, fear, and false alarms. Radio such instance that one for your mental hunger systems are security shards and subordinate activities often spread these as well as safeguard. These consistent with steel level vulnerabilities may affect more recent nuclear powers, proliferate tech around surrounding deterrence. Innovations are exacerbating ambiguities in the international balance of power. Second is ambiguity. The fog of war. These conventional risks get misinterpreted. Gallery key. The fog crisis will be made more uncomfortable by misinformation, cyber and co-writer, confusing messages, fear, suffering, and disabling. Nuclear strike is a race of conventional attack by a dual capable system is perceived to be a nuclear first strike, dual capable aircraft is likely to misconstruct. Probable. Third is AI. Policymakers are afraid of AI counterforce to truth to use the situation, guys. And then 18. Technologies that make it more likely that survival sources can be destroyed, make it more possible that one country might threaten a first strike, summarize strategic stability, what the adversaries may ensure one nation secure fear times over says a first strike threat. Counterforce targeting capabilities and enhancing project AI. Technology helping new breakthroughs and checking and targeting capabilities would be especially stabilizing system. So you make a threat to conventional replace the adversary under an arms race, which is violent to nuclear or the adversary field. They need to use weapons before being disarmed. Fourth, the cyber nuclear weapons are sitting next to cyber attacks was the unmanageable escalation pattern. 18. Cyber operations are often summoned. This makes cyber capabilities more likely to be deployed early in a crisis. The result could be unmanageable escalation hackers. Destroy communication standing commercial infrastructure could be vulnerable to attack links with hard for nuclear sector capabilities could be unreliable. It's difficult to know which computer system support which weapons and operations cyber attacks might spoof or early warnings. Cyber attacks can cross the escalation ladder. Nuclear arms safety bombarded cyber attacks might preempt nuclear weapons. Even eliminate nuclear war causes a global famine in the next nation. Also, 14. The combined effect of elevated U levels on terrestrial agriculture just put significant pressure on global food security. Combination of killer cross reduction, needed precipitation, prolonging transmitted radiation, significant pressure on the food supply, even relatively small food pressure can be amplified by global political reaction, global pressure on food supply from the regionally food conflict is significantly greater food security produces global nuclear famine. Independently, these fire ecological damage cause massive amounts of suffering. Edward 17. Nuclear war would directly hamster fighting crop those family ecological destruction would be demonstrated if follow strike balance can flatten cities, people within 10 miles die, instantly most die. Birds or cancer contaminating crops, livestock, gentrifications, explosions, cause immense fire smoke would be toxic now plant. Result, the state doesn't eliminate the nuclear arsenals to clarify this doesn't entail an affirmation the state's good, saying Nazi Germany on not to invade Poland does not until Nazi Germany is good. Further specification is that good off only full elimination solves even one state with cause of power and balance permanent. 13. Weapons ready of central geopolitical competition, Russia, China, India, Pakistan, North Korea, and Iran are entering a nuclear stagnation. Just one else fall. Nuclear countries found in states with more use per time more likely to win nuclear translation to a geopolitical advantage. Leaders with furious volcano nuclear deterrence fails cognitive studies, new technical geography, craft advantage. 18. Cyber weapons corrupt states early warning if states can compromise really warning costs stricken first fall dramatically geographical location nuclear powers and undermine deterrence to spread nuclear weapons to states located close to our elements warning time. I'm not sure. Like national government heightened alert as well as delivering authorities decision interest likely to acts until over 40 users just have a great down. This is something humans cannot become and maximize their human nature, but over deterrence. According to prospect theory, people take great risks and accept high cost deterrence depends on people in charge of researching how that science against political leaders are usually optimistic and overly confident. These characteristics undermine deterrence. The notion that ultimate decisions for rational hardwiring is not a fact. Empirics disprove deterrence by our 18 nuclear deterrence became a lethal ideology despite increasingly discredited the U.S. and Soviet voted war because neither wanted war. The president of walking like people would take both sides ideas human squares the curse because of weapons the Chinese, Cuban, Iranian, and Nicaraguan revolutions. All to new governments did not help in Iraq and Afghanistan. Iraq was not just from lobbying business deterrence is not the pattern is geographically widespread. Cut the card there. Now freedom. Phenomenal deterrence is proof pain is intrinsically by one another's what pain is without associating it with objective self image. Well, the phenomenal between pain and life can be the phenomenal equivalent of the horrible state intrinsically worse. Now we can get a complete characterization of murder. Well, the only phenomenal state part of the situation of evil characterization of that phenomenal state without capturing its intrinsic selling present negative unconscious by physical properties, though it is also computed that the phenomenally all such objective phenomenal properties are intrinsic balance and sinners maximizing well-being. Prefer one extinction preclusion of war oppression is better to keep our options of max go. 14. Extinctions are reversible if we continue to we always have the options let ourselves go in the future, but we can't bring ourselves back. We should expect ourselves to progress more like the next century. We should expect in a few centuries time we will better evidence about how we evaluate human extinction than we currently have. The cost of waiting extension is well compared with the benefits of keeping one waits for new information. 2. High magnitude scenarios is proportionally hard. Disadvantage to use Nelson. 18. Nuclear strike which disproportionately impact black and poor people and individuals. Urban areas attacking state targets for nuclear strike there to densely populate the heart of the nation. Most liabilities will translate to more casualties. Most liabilities in the U.S. Most sizable black population have a result larger fear of black genocide and large levels of black and brown social values that number due to placing poverty. Number would be for higher limited access to bringing healthcare, welfare, and resources. We have to do more to foster fairness among black people. We can let them show this space to explore nuclear and these 3 interpretations of the average effects of maximizing well-being. They might only look confidence under that stereotype. It's true reclusive theoretical letter clarify you can theory showing the African or doctor original test. The African prefer one shots because they kills 1 air shots and they can choose and see the functionally on the gates and turn the African into 1 skill only use solves the only guaranteed options both sides of every topic. Their leadership will lead to the ground for later. These people around building structures with the nexus laws are response one another. Fire can't overtake over fire people don't rebel. You can choose and see that has the points my family scheme. Topic of nuclear weapons major specifically consequential shot. 84 nuclear policy because of cloud pollution and reverse effects of the cries that beacon over consequential scenario. The knowledgeable do not integrate factual issues or probabilities such as chance of accident machines on the real historical and political consequences of deterrence bill and alternatives to armed D-point tax not definitionally means consequential outweighs the text or resolutions to waste for all career and craft tenders. 10. Almost should be concerned with the actual appearance of competencies to say we ought to treat tendency by identical saying everyone will be better off. We do vote in fair education, remove better grades for fair vote in education. The only reason schools invade not seem back to make drop their real money security about arguing paradigms will under sometimes when theory debate and also itself continue until only security to derivation and seasons of voice against the one era paradigm is jumps over down on a secure with a preemptive violation. They have 7 minutes to answer middle on the debate when right there the time the entire one is security the shots and they could shoot non-security under 1 accurate the Afghans otherwise the neck can have to be shot the debate the 2 hour can see the shell and some do everything and 6 minutes to end up the 2 hour possible 2 1930 is not out equal to use only like arguments to suitable if I can not people the 2 their shell to enough lawyer for this first time to spread out more engagement activity 1 hour too short from the lawyers so then 2 who wants to complete last 3 very much started shot 20 data is current data reference diversity accounts for as varies over multiple topics at 150%. By February structural framing is harder on the 2020 Jan. The topic 4 no new 200 framing or 1 8.6 issues from the 20 needs to issue 90 generation increases in split breaking 2.8 between the entire running or leading 3 200. Okay, I just said the 4th point so that should
Oh, not like the new 200 framing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and also I cut the rush card. Did you ever cut it?
Where?
The pattern is geographically widespread.
Okay. What do you put context? How do you eliminate nuclear weapons?
What do you mean by that? Like,
So, like, what do you engage in the process where you deconstruct the weapons? Like, where does the fissile material go?
So we don't specify that.
Well, will you defend some sort of? Well, I want you to specify now. Do you defend like at least some sort of method of implementation?
Yeah, you have definitely implement. That's your question.
Yeah, I know. But like, what? How do you go about like eliminating nukes?
So I would say that obviously there are lots of different types of nuclear weapons, and it's probably good to eliminate them in different ways depending on the way that like nuclear waste exists in this type of weapon and specific.
Okay, it would involve the deconstruction of nuclear weapons, right?
Do you just want to link to like the waste is said? I'll give you that. Like,
Okay,
cool. Deconstruction weapons.
Which countries have the sort of like AI technology right now that has to do with nukes.
Right. So the argument is not that any countries currently have. So this evidence actually establishes uniqueness for the advantage because it says that right now countries are developing this AI. So the reason that we haven't a nuclear war yet is because none of these countries have reached the actual point where they have AI counterforce. But everyone's like really antsy.
So what is AI counterforce? It's basically just like AI automatically launches a nuke without.
No. So what counterforce is, it's the idea that you can use your weapons to take out somebody's nuclear weapons. So like for example, if I have like conventional counterforce, maybe that means I have like ICBMs that don't necessarily have nuclear warheads that can take out my opponent's nuclear weapons, so they can't use nuclear deterrence against me. AI counterforce says that you can use AI to disable your opponent's nuclear weapons, or hack them, or in some way use your military strategy to like avoid nukes in such a way that they can no longer use deterrence against you.
Okay. The cyber attacks. Who cyber attacks? Like which groups have an incentive to cyber attack X country?
So first is that anyone who has an incentive to use counterforce, i.e. like pretty much any country has an incentive to use to cyber
which
their opponents.
Well,
Right,
which
so, like,
countries have incentive right now?
Do you want me to just like list geopolitical rivalries?
No,
Right.
like any geopolitical rivalry doesn't mean that they'll engage in like cyber attacks and nuclear war against each other.
Sure, so it
So,
doesn't
like, what is a
necessarily, but I was
realistic
saying in most
scenario
cases,
that's right now?
it probably does, right? Like, for example, like, Russia and the US have been engaged in, like, cyber warfare for the past, like, couple of years, and it's probably going to ramp up to, at some point, nuclear spoofing once they get into, like, more hard conventional conflict.
Okay.
Also,
So
terrorist
has
groups-
cyber attacks ever happened against, specifically with nukes?
So we haven't, like, so although it maybe doesn't seem that way, we've actually had a pretty stable past, like, a couple of years. in
Okay,
terms
what
of,
makes
like,
it such
global
that
conflict.
there's
So-
like an increase in cyber attacks right now?
I don't think anything in the advantage shows that. I can make those arguments in the line chart though.
Okay, so which countries have their nuclear weapons on hair trigger alert?
I'm not sure.
Okay, what is hair trigger alert?
Hair trigger is just the idea that like you can launch them without sort of going through external channels, right? Like you can press a button and they launch.
Okay, but you don't know which countries have them.
I can Google that if you want, but I assume that because you asked that question.
Yeah, I don't think it's really. I'll start out.
Okay. There are a few countries that I knew do. I'm almost positive the US does. Is it 4 or 5 minutes?
I think 4. Okay, that's 150 taken. The orders will be 4 in this case.
You're looking for a large debate.
Yeah.
But we shall see. Okay, more than these.
Starting on deterrence fails. Starting on underview deterrence fails, then overview advantages.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, just for the app underview, the deterrence fails stuff on the plan text, then the rest of the app.
Is there an advantage I should flow in a separate sheet?
No.
Sorry, no, we're doing the advantage I should flow in a separate sheet.
But like, I don't know, it's your choice. Like,
Okay.
just
Yeah, I just don't have to on that. Jeez. Just do it.
okay. Is everyone good?
Yeah, just stop.
Alright, pretty good.
Counterplan text. All states in possession of nuclear weapons ought to transfer all weapons-grade fissile material to the United Nations and not reacquire nuclear weapons capabilities. The United States and the United Nations ought to preserve nuclear weapons for the sole purpose of defending against alien invasion. It can be safe to see that they can deconstruct all nuclear weapons in the status quo, which is completely different from transferring those nuclear weapons to the United Nations. Eliminating means completely relocating. Child Kill Board 18 means completely reload. Permutation means transfer, which is definitely a different. UN Council of State 193 member states of the United States. So degree of influence of whether on nuclear weapons in UN, which means not completely limiting. There's defined by who as a shoe the people or things previously mentioned or easily identified mean they're associated with the United Nations, so they still have nuclear weapons. And nuclear aliens are our only defense against the invasion. Korea. This is what FBI find violence. The U.S. is not prepared for adopting policy deterring the sole purpose of nuclear hedging international geopolitical. That's why talking says aliens are their only nuclear weapons can be the advanced alien race pattern. 16. Defending our bonds of like launching new trade up and a structure of the spaceships that would slow down approaching planet structure that would facilitate interstellar travel ship with a vulnerable damage values. You know, in the situation wars light years away, probably mitigate conventional bonds will have a carrier nuclear and blow from the inside glucose dynamite. And aliens are real extinction. So 16. Aliens civilization will kill us all, have used all research on the home planet, no matter looking conquer colonize what plans to achieve an outcome be when planet on America. Only our impact is existential. Martin, 82. The invasion of the war can directly kill 450 million people's foreign investigation that are living the lifetimes in human population of relative unaffected areas remain relatively unscathed scientific evidence on no basis. Statements of nuclear war would result in death toll and should be considered exaggeration. Next off. Counterplay text. All states ought to ban the development of AI counter force capabilities and drastically increase cyber defense operations and drastically increase military to military communication solves. All three advantages of services. It means that the states communicate with each other, which increases the chance of miscalculation if they actually talk to each other before like launching a nuclear counterstrike. Next off. Disarmament increases the risk of nuclear threat because it's transported with fissile materials. Tetris. Limiting nuclear weapons also increases the risk because new fissile materials would evolve and vulnerability to high transportation. As an abolition, dropping current non-pollution, reason real world priorities, abolition of vision with China articles. So the after is vulnerable stockpiles of nuclear material which results in terrorists stealing them longer. As long as weapons will continue, no public cycle method of launcher disposal has found no method to surplus to continue the stocks represent a potential for breaking through the nuclear genre process. They pose a risk that been smoking terrorists. Brain drain the playing class of North Korean scientists proliferate deadly weapons, all their terrorists in other states. Lockheed, 18 notice for how many nuclear and military nuclear arsenals they can have to run with nuclear sites and such thousands of science engineers making weapons of mass destruction. North Korea's weapons for and scientists have without skills with proliferation and knowledge other states terrorists already become serious involving chemical biological program. Nuclear terror causes extinction problem. 14 nuclear attempt to try to do small people weapons mercenaries in the hell of the person are the danger rise in the state food. But a person will be an accident nuclear weapons, ultra responsive nuclear attack, and nuclear counterfactors will often rise attack of their own people. After the 9/11 is case in point terrorists and crime violence also no state will crossed by their own deterrence fails. Analysis here about how irrational leaders will launch things like nuclear strike, but most geopolitical leaders are rational and exhibit strategic patience, but not terrorist groups and soldiers launch for their own purpose. Next up. No nuclear war over the Baltic now. Russia believes that NATO and US will use nukes to defend the Baltics. Eagle improve AK hard believe that Russia having any motive to use nuclear weapons. Baltic nuclear proximity. Russia's further ambition and anxiety come to kill. Baltics will appear to convince that NATO is ready to use nuclear weapons. Russia needs to convince that NATO are determined to use nuclear weapons to defend Baltic as Russia is ready to connect attack and go strike the region, avoid spending and retaliation. Only nuclear deterrence stops Russia from invading Baltic, specifically UN, the United States, and NATO. Go and Hunter. 19 Russia will attack the Baltic and convince that US will use nuclear weapons to defend the Baltic as Russia convince Russia's foreign to influence control the Baltic states will create physical weapon from Russian pursue population centers. Russia will not put war in the United States to rational will exhibit strategic patient and only three measures for Russia will explain any perceived weakness against NATO cannot afford to regard Russia first strikes initiate war kills the nuclear weapon. It means that they first strike during the transition. When states are limited to nuclear arsenals for a Fisher. 15 the Baltic states are many elsewhere the World War III most states that Baltic states are members of NATO which charter states attack one member attacking them all. Russia invades as Soviet leaving out the US into the war on Moscow. Russia invades the escalation nuclear strike force immediately and the point Russia the general staff can feel that there's some military sees viable options it's difficult to imagine war to heavy nuclear war, criminal treatment, allocation, trials, attack on nuclear law enforcement, isolating lobby, nuclear harassment, nuclear investing, annihilation. This doctrine is gambling in favor of the world, the cut the card of gambling for the world. Even short of nuclear war, great power war kills hundreds of millions. OSD 18. First time part of the from the sky part of world's one great power of the world. The world's 100 million people have short years since nuclear deterrence, absence of great power conflicts that coincided on nuclear states and not right compared to the deterrence efforts and sustain U.S. nuclear deterrence self-funded attacks and great power war. The case under you drop the argument of theory of time trade obviously you can just read a 20-second shell and then you don't have to actually answer the offsets of education outweighs into and maintains that abusive part of the debate just goes away and we collapse the more sort of like flash heavy parts of the debate, which I always draw quotability since fairness is like reversible and we both have 13 to speak. The deterrence fails depends on them winning the other miscalculation advantages. And they say the spread of nuclear weapons states located close to a rival means warning times are much shorter. This isn't in the case of US and Russia, since US and Russia are geographically far away from each other. Evidence doesn't apply to Russia scenario. Says Russia does act rationally. The rational we have evidence that indicates that Russia exhibits strategic patience and won't just successfully strike the United States. The barrage evidence is historical, but they want to go to war now. They said US and Soviet war avoided war in the past, but if Soviet war has an incentive to invade Estonia, then US is legally obligated to join the war. And the nukes like didn't help Iran or Afghanistan. An argument doesn't apply in the case where they're legally obligated to go to the war. And overview on the case. Disarming makes the world more dangerous, no erase the rearm, no verification, unbroken. 17 verification often 20 for one side, no civil negotiate. Remember, Iran was trying to enter the country nuclear program limited compared to that of Russia, US, and South Africa negotiating itself out of part. Not many countries are limited. IAEA has no expertise in disarmament, far from obvious and members who in favor of disarmament would put a premium on cheating country with territorial mobilization plan because it would be nuclear zero would world abandons versus nuclear weapons or expertise in countries like very close having nuclear without having no lens of zero or Soviet deflection with BWC no to have limited power and defensive nukes would bring these conventional armaments and make security more than line setting because you could make these weapons less relevant. Turns out ways there's no safety mechanism. The country's nukes are gone. It also increases the rates of rearmament. Countries have incentive to strike first. Also, any nuke it installs a clear reliable verification scheme and a presumption for verification, limitation, technological, easy for rural nuclear weapons, starting to also infrastructure nuclear weapons, hitting beyond the hidden, and we current techniques defect only mere feet in inches, and formally start nuclear materials that partly part of the cannot reveal what the material is. Now, the axis expansion near miss just means there are multiple checks, and even if one aspect security fails, other aspects of security check by which the material convinces there's no incentive to cyber attack in South Korea, and cyber attacks have never happened, which probably means they will happen in the future. Technology is good. It just means that we can develop better cybersecurity system. The Gower 18 average perception in nuclear first strike doesn't matter since they're obviously, and since even if they have a perception of other countries with nuclear first strike, they'll obviously be like, yo, are you actually striking us? And they'll be like, no, which means that they'll, which is completely proven in the past with other asking no risk of miscalculation, pressure out of their detection system less. And a low rate, Russia, US and Russia lead capabilities and Russia launched US defense program South for early war nuclear listening as well. Russia began to rebuild agents in 2001 France developing two satellites and secondary capabilities with ground-based electronic and risk of accidents and low and constantly decreasing as technology improved accidents for launch and outbursting public attention. 17 nuclear armed countries set up the fallacy that a electrical phenomenon and so position to use with weapons can be made on the basis of single data or single source of system combinations necessary from ground-based radio intelligence of course all the instances and safety mechanism or safety mechanism perfected less than past years have been learned cut the piece of evidence out learned to sort of like hacking argument nuclear command and control is secured out opening up states with opens up states with vulnerabilities on that 17 there are only secure rather than future existing command and control capabilities the solution should any corrupt the possibly requiring other certifications. Other certifications.
Could you send it marked off?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody appreciates. Okay, so that's the two counterplans.
No comment.
The first counterplan. Who has the authority to launch nuclear weapons against an alien race?
The United Nations.
How do they decide that?
If an alien invasion comes and they see that alien
Wait, no, you're, like, what is the procedure? Like, how does the, like, is it the General Assembly that votes? The Security Council? Do they need a majority? Does everyone need to consent?
Oh, like, you mean like actually voting to launch nuclear weapons? I don't think we need to specify like a voting process in order to launch nukes, just that like if aliens come from the United Nations.
You read a bunch of evidence that like the US and Russia have different geopolitical incentives, right? So like what if one of them if like the Security Council is approving it and like the US and Russia disagree with there's something aliens, how do they resolve that?
So they disagree on whether or not aliens are actually here.
Yeah.
Well, it's just since they can keep nuclear weapons for the purpose
What
of
is an alien?
invasions. An alien is like someone not from Earth. They're like from other Earth-like planets, and they're like millions.
How do you know the aliens are going to be dangerous?
We have evidence that if they have the capability to get here, they probably have an incentive for like colonization.
Okay, that's fine. So your world population, do you have evidence that the UN counts as a state? Can you explain that to me?
Oh, it's just that it's just preempt against when you're like.
Okay, because your evidence says that there are member states in the UN, but I don't see anywhere where it calls the UN a state.
Yeah, I think like the UN being composed of many member states probably means that it's like very similar.
If I'm composed of molecules, does that make me a molecule?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like,
okay, no, that's fine. That's
molecules contain.
fine. So
forms.
The only response to the interview was just like drop the argument on air here.
Yep.
Where's your evidence that Russia acts? Well, okay, so your evidence, the deterrence society is premised off the U.S. responding to Russia, right?
Yeah, after they invaded
Okay,
Estonia.
so you say that Russia acts rationally in response to deterrence fails, or do you say that the U.S. acts rationally?
This is in the status quo that Russia will not first strike places like Estonia, but there's no incentive for the United States just to suddenly like nuke Russia right now. But we provide incentive.
Okay, but
that
there
Russia
is an
wants
incentive to nuke Russia after the Baltic State attacked.
No, Russia has an incentive to first strike after the United States eliminates their nukes, since they see.
Why will the U.S. respond?
Since they're legally obligated to.
Okay, but has Trump showed a lot of regard for legal obligations?
Yeah.
Okay, we can have that debate.
And also, I don't think this ad is about a current leader.
Also, did you
in the world? It's specifically about
Did you
NATO.
get a mark?
Trump probably respects NATO. Yeah, it did.
How does the second one solve?
It solves all three advantages of the app. First is that no AI accounted for. Second is we increase cybersecurity. Third is that military communications means that even if a slight miscalc happens, countries can just feel did you actually launch a nuke at us? And they'll be of course not.
Okay, that's fine. Starting there. What was the response to the AI counterforce scenario?
Yeah, just tech is good now. The more we develop technology, the more secure our systems become.
That's fine. You solvency card actually.
A solvency card?
So the advocate for the How easy is it for terrorists to steal nuclear weapons?
It becomes much more easier in the world of the app since fissile material is transported,
Okay.
etc.
So your evidence says that current disarmament policies or past disarmament policies made nuclear terror more likely.
I don't think it says that. It just says disarmament policy in general.
That's fine. Okay, that's fine. I have 40 seconds left. It'll be so new off, the underview, then the aff, starting on the advantage, then the deterrence fails, then the overview, build the rearm plus presumption stuff. Then it will be the offs in order. Okay, and I'm doing one card, which I will send.
Starting with a new.
The intro just go ahead. Okay. Is everybody good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Conditionalities of voting issue 8 points draft to the 1 hour possible single kick out of offense generate killing ass draft B point clash look over whatever undercover in the 2 hour killing clash justification disposal the counter for because a stable pistol with 1 hour pistol less than kick you find 2 things that make it 100 double from set 1 half it's 1 hour theory shot the debater no kick from the interview now the only argument to make a shot the remote theory no drop the debater otherwise the 2 hour can see the way show when something skewed my strategies like I don't have time to win some of the offense in the time crunch 1 hour I mean they'll always win some of the world activities which kills justification also deterrence on justification means they'll be threatening the future which cause better justification now the case nuclear war causes station not 20 signals initial blastings per token ozone layer nuclear warfare causes which causes disease and famine outweighs the extinction impact was conceded coming from the African to file a window charter so the nuclear war comes first they concede max of the station first now go for 2 scenarios first extend guys and long policy makers are afraid of adding counterforce which could disable their nuclear capability that force first try to maintain their deterrent there were only response they say that no current tech versus saber no but argument that tech is developing at a faster rate which means countries are going to be more afraid of the flutter the good for implication of flutter which says that saber capabilities are offense dominant which means it's easier to use cyber attacks than it is to stop them, which proves that leaders are going to be afraid of it. Now I'll go for Scott Patrick and I don't know if he asked me Scott first to treat for historical limits to prove the accident launch will happen. It's only a matter of time seconds for relative virgin. Nuclear powers like Pakistan, North Korea, have nuclear safeguards that guarantee escalation. None of the other states in Pakistan and North Korea which don't have strong nuclear safeguards with their nuclear powers and also have an incentive to have things on here trigger alert, which proves that which takes all their own means that even if the US and other countries are not now the plan. After Zero takes out rearmament circumvention, 8 point posture as well, and would never do it himself to skill laptops and every advantage with your versus obviously countries don't want to limit nuclear arsenals not B point tax the rest is on not what the Apple registry would be better so to eliminate nuclear arsenals but they will now the lemma line of the arguments, they say through both these arguments, it's still better than the worldly applicants of risk that some countries will nuclearize decrease the risk of cyber nuclear war, which is the first, which comes first under the Apple about, which means fewer nukes are still better, even if there's some of your circumvention rearm. Now, the aliens. One, perm do both nor warm, when the United Nations is the same, which means that they can eliminate their nuclear weapons by giving them to the UN. The UN is composed of member states, but obviously unclosed molecules, that doesn't make me molecule, which means just as permutation. Second is one, either it causes miscalculation. Countries will have unilateral control over nuclear weapons, which is the same as scope, or it can't solve because the US will disagree on when aliens are coming or the strategic necessity of using it to take other off. Theories that countries will, theories that there's no war, how countries can agree, how they can decide on launching nuclear weapons, you should air heavily first, they don't give any explanation of now, for condition, counterplans, 8 point ground, total flash strikes and taken the entirety of the app by these conditional things that the Apple still stop literature to go for the topics. It's obviously most people in the nuclear weapons topic aren't talking about aliens because they're not part of the topic now. The second counterplan, I'm only going for the counterforce. I'm only going for anti-counterforce that doesn't solve the plan. One is that countries are still sufficient that other leaders should develop. Anti-counterforce means that either they ban the development, they'll still think that other people are still intending with nuclear first. Second is their relation to councils. As far as they don't have solves, yeah, you should against nuclear installations. That's where student doing your arguments now. The terrorist Terrorism likely they don't want nukes smaller. A terrorist groups develop only when it is our developing bombs crash risky action transforming elaborate transporting highly material sophisticated personal machines not moving on to weapon for detonations from hiding global surveillance of the state. It's basically for desperate capability. The second is that there are huge all causes. Obviously, the nuclear weapons are in transit all the time, even if they're not being disarmed. Even things like power, the physical from power plants. That the distance 93. There's no case still outweighs even if you win nuclear terror. There's no more. Whether there's any sort of retaliation for other states, they definitely won't retaliate since there's no basis. Since they don't know where terrorist organizations are, which means it's possible to retaliate. Of course, there's no extinction. There's no extinction war, which is the case with Scotland because we prompt like global nuclear retaliation. Now, Russia just said they conceded that the act eliminates all nuclear weapons. The act eliminates all nuclear weapons, which takes out this the act which takes out the paternal effect of this because it means that even if there is a great power war, it doesn't cause nuclear escalation, which means it doesn't lead to extinction. The extinction always comes first. Second is that no, the U.S. definitely won't retaliate. No more liable. Trump is respects legal obligation to prove by things like impeachment, and he is solely withdrawn from NATO, which means that he won't sort of retaliate. The three is that Russian first strike doesn't cause contagious. It's not done using nuclear weapons. It's probably counterforce targeting, which takes up the solvents. Fourth is that yeah, that's fine.
What was the last argument on how Russia first strike doesn't cause extinction?
Right. So if the app eliminates nuclear weapons, then it means that Russia would not be first striking nuclear weapons, which means that it would be strategic to take out opponents' weapons.
Conditions counterplans that argument. Is that a reason to drop me?
Yeah.
Okay. The answer to the counterplan, even if the counterplan fiats that counterforce capability stop, why would other countries would still develop them because they distrust other countries, right?
Well, so one, it's not necessarily, well, so yes, but the other argument is that even if they're not being developed and the counterplan does fiat that, then the U.S. still doesn't know that, right? So the U.S. is not going to believe Vladimir Putin when he's like, I promise we're not developing a counterforce. So Trump will still think that he is in first, right? Obviously not specifically Trump, but like any world leader, right?
Okay, and then U.S. will develop their own counterforce?
Or they'll just like launch nuclear weapons because
Okay.
they're afraid of counterforce.
Okay. Order is going to be Baltics, counterplan, and F.
So the advantage counterplan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then where are you doing to?
Mm-hmm.
Or when are you doing the shells?
Oh, after that.
And when we
The F is just going to be counterforce.
Starting on the Baltics.
Yes.
Sorry, just give me 1 second. Lost some of these. Okay. I'm good.
Okay. Is everyone good?
Impact calculus, multi-war outweighs first versus conventional war in scope is most likely seen over World War III. Baltic states are all members of NATO, meaning if Russia invades Estonia, then all members of NATO are legally obligated to join the war. Consider the sort of like World War III causes things like hundreds of millions of lives, which is comparable to that of a nuclear first strike. If one country launches a nuclear first strike, that just means that the other country will be like, oh, that's super dangerous. It won't escalate to full nuclear war. But things like conventional war is something that aggregates and allows other countries to continuously engage in aggression. Also about ways in terms of probability, which aggregates and you shouldn't reject like 1% risk of extinction scenarios, so we cross beats all the time with 1% risk of being hit by the cars. The most internal links are usual since it's weighted logic. Agents logically make decisions. Second, time frame Russia first strikes immediately before the enemy identified, verified, and testimony to recently retired Russian military general staff. The absent are uncertain or best framing issue that this doesn't depend on rearmament. It's that while they are engaged in the process of eliminating nuclear weapons, all countries are in an extremely vulnerable or distrustful state, which is their own argument on my counterplan. And when they are distrustful of each other, Russia will do things like launch a first strike and violate things like international norms. However, this doesn't apply to the counterplan. I'm going to go for it later because the counterplan says that even if they have AI counter, they don't have AI counterforce capabilities right now, which means that if we just ban development of AI counterforce capabilities, it's not like one country can just suddenly like will AI counterforce abilities into existence. However, Russia does have nukes right now, which means they can do like things like circumvent international norms. Now, uniqueness is that Russia thinks that US NATO will launch nukes to invade the Baltic states that they aren't engaging with. That was a kind of 18 evidence NATO and the US won't escalate since framing that this question of perception. What actually happens to manage Russian leadership acts on their own perception situation. The lane is that Russia will engage in nuclear conventional war against the Baltic state absent nukes since they're confident they can win a conventional war. Russia has closer geographical proximity to the region who could reinforce equipment, and Russia has provided incentive to expand with states like Ukraine that aren't under NATO protection. The only thing keeping Russia at bay right now is incredibly people who turn their rational have been exhibiting strategic patience until it believes that conditions are right. Only three measures can ensure Russia even perception, weakness, suspicion for them to attack them. Don't respect legal obligations argument. First, US loves nukes in NATO. They're part of the formation process, which means if they don't respect NATO, that they basically lose all their soft power, and probably means that they have an incentive to respect NATO obligations. Second, US loves keeping other countries on their nuclear belt in order to keep their sphere of influence. Certainly, abandoning a NATO country would delegitimize them and cause other countries like Japan and places like Taiwan to distrust the US, which is obviously bad for their soft power. Third is they are negative evidence that they will do things well, that they'll respect NATO obligations while they don't have specificity for an issue, or evidence that Trump will not respect the specific NATO. Just like Trump violates legal norms is not enough to take out the dissent when we provided like evidence from 2019 that they will engage in all out war. Fourth, that US will still use this as an excuse to do things like shift the power balance and engage in war against Russia, since they obviously want to do things like compete with Russian regional hegemony, which means they do have an incentive to go for war, but they just don't have a good reason. Well, NATO will give them that reason to disaster. The counterplan solves the whole entirely affirmative, since it means that we just ban the development of AI counterforce and capabilities crossed by their argument on durable fiat that countries don't get to do things like continually develop AI counterforce abilities and capabilities in the status quo. However, this doesn't apply to nuclear weapons, since eliminating nuclear weapons is a process that during the process of eliminating nukes, they may do things like first strike. It's not like rearmament where after they eliminate nukes, they'll have nukes again. However, that isn't the case in terms of counterforce via the announcement I did above, since like people can't just like will counterforce into existence, since we don't have counterforce right now, and the counterplan says that it's an international norm that we never develop counterforce ever. And counterforce, banning counterforce obviously does solve for the whole entire affirmative, since the whole entire advantage relies on counterforce. The actual counterforce advantage from the F. Negative values in terms of time frame, we don't have counterforce now, they don't just like when we'll develop it. That means by the time we develop counterforce, we'll already be dead from things like Russia first strike and from things like conventional World War III. Also, second, World War III would mean that counterforce development gets put on hold, since countries will want to do things like expand their current military capability instead of developing things like AI technology and the reversibility. There's no reason for this is not a reason for a nuke survival, it's just a reason for a counterforce survival, which is obviously solved by things like a counterplan for relies on them winning that our security is bad right now, but by making AI counterforce is effective. But if we win that cybersecurity is strong and robust right now, that just means that AI counterforce won't work, since it means that they can't get past into robust systems. Now, they can see that from the basis of you can't disable nukes from the basis of a single data source of system. Confirmation testing from several systems, or from a single ground-based early warning system, which means that things like miscalculation won't happen. Also, counterforce doesn't mean that countries will launch nukes, since they don't know when counterforce will actually happen, which means they won't launch nukes. Their explanation of counterforce was extremely flippy in the 1 yard, and probably means that you should buy a specific scenario of like Russia wanting to invade the Soviet states and US causing things in World War III. I would should probably extinction impact that it was conceded. A point negative also has a link, but it has more specific links since it results in things like global extinction via World War III. The sort of like offense dominant argument, there is no risk of things like cyber attacks and SASO, since you can see that our cyber attack systems are robust and that there are multiple checks against certain systems. The proliferation argument, they have a prolific impact, which means they don't get to renew 1 year, like extend 1 year advantages. I'm not going for things like rearmament, I'm just going to go for the process of eliminating nukes increases like things like tension between states, but that doesn't mean that countries literally develop nuclear weapons. The fuel shells. Reasonably, they've regarded just like competing jurisdictions, persuasive defense of theories would be enough to direct it. The Lincoln impact of current outweighs since it means that we can develop substance education. They can see substance education outweighs everything since it means that we can have discussions on current issues about the world counter. I could be a single conditional axis, both logical rule and negatives of the atom vowel and the action move on to ultimately every single counterclaim is something opportunity costs to the plan. Now, second, first, the axis skills can see the education outweighs for the other defend every component of the plan allows rigorous testing. And it's also the most real policymakers have to go from multiple angles and don't limit themselves to one core direction. All arguments are conditional. There's no way teams go for every single possible argument, which means they ban all arguments, multiple permutations. They just get multiple conditional axioms. Are even worse since they introduce new conditional rules. Scope is extremely vast and one is designed to criticize it. And the Strassi argument, it doesn't. The negative always monetary time allocation. They have been rigorously to defend it. They're affirmative. Anyway, it's no different from like T or Q that I kick the sort of like condition counterplay back counterprediction, negative specified condition for nuclear weapons. And that the first is specificity and policy. Specificity and policy making. It means that we can analyze the way the different ways nuclear weapons are for instead of just like analyzing the way nuclear weapons are used in scope right now, which allows surveyors to be more creative, which I was in terms of second neck, right? Otherwise, nuclear is only background that we have, which is obviously driven by account advantages like miscount or front-loaded incentives impact advocates still access to things like 8 points for prevention. I'll continue your answer to the aliens dissent, which just proves that you have a bunch of ground against the things like conditions calculate. I don't get to do things like utopian fiat viewpoint. It seems like miscalculation applies. I'm taking the calculate, not going for conceit case defense on terror, and reasonability definitely solves for both of these shells.
Okay, starting prep, what was the reasonability framework?
First, persuasive defense of theories of reasons rejected. Second, Lincoln impact on ground.
Okay. And there was a line argument for substance education. How would you start?
That was in the 1NC.
Okay, yeah. What was the argument after perms are worse?
The argument after.
It was like between perms are worse and neg flex sideways. It was like SQO or something.
Oh, like forcing the neg to defend the SQO is bad since the atom structure damage the SQO.
Okay, that's fine. Calm down. Okay. That's fine. I'm not gonna. Okay, is everyone good?
Yep.
Conditionality is a voting issue. I'll concede the substantive education first argument that was made in the 1NC. That means all I have to do is my clash standard and dispose all of them. That should be sufficient for you to vote for you to vote out on the standard level. There are two before I get that there are two frame issues that are automatically you should vote out. The first one is they violate their reasonability right line. They say link and impact your but I can't link or impact your conditional counterplay because they can kick any offense I generate on it, which means they don't meet this interpretation. So this was literally the argument in the 1AR about why condo is bad because it means that it's possible for the 1AR to generate offense. They can kick any offense I generate. The second argument is they don't meet their counter interpretation. They say they have one conditional obviously. They read two in the 1NC, which means that they don't get access to any of their offense. 1, 2, or solve all of their offense. Even if some condo is good, that's not a reason why they need two conditional obviously. The 1AR is too short to answer all these arguments and develop nuanced clash. Now, I'm going for the clash standard. They functionally, they literally straight conceded that clash kills substantive education. Condo kills substantive education, so they'll kick out of whatever offense and substantive arguments I generate on the counterplane, which is empirically because I did generate good arguments to the conditional counterplane, but they were able to kick out of any offense I generated, which kills any sort of theoretical engagement on that layer. They've also conceded dispo solves all of their education offense. If that's all I'll go through and explain all the arguments that it's also solved. Their advocacy skills arguments, it's also solved their advocacy skills arguments. They can advocate for multiple different things, but by getting out of like living down terms that I make. But it also means that they have to defend things when I have evidence or nuance prep against that. They say everything is to solve their perms worst arguments. And no, they can kick out of things like perms, but I can get condo advocacy. It solves their force and defense arguments. They don't always have to defend the score now. Even so, line by line, all these arguments. First, their logic argument. No, debate is not logical. Obviously, we're not policymakers, and there's no impact policymaking anyway. People in substitution outweighs. If I want to reason why conditionality is bad for substitution and clash would outweigh them. Here, they make the 1NC the advocacy argument. 1 is we can't access skills of world conditional advocacy because it means that because they can avoid nuance clash by kicking out these arguments. Second is there's no articulation of why advocacy skills are defending multiple advocacy skills. Like advocacy skills, they just asserted is theories that clash outweigh and the only thing that you need to debate. You can get advocacy skills through other events like model U, and you say everything is condo. No, the dispo solves take this out. If I can straight turn something, that means you still to defend, but I can't straight turn your conditional advocacy since you can kick out of offense general, which is perfectly by the conditions kind of the perms are worse argument. No, this is not. First, they know perms are not offense for me. They're not a reason. They're just testing competition, which means that they're not worse. Whereas you can, whereas counterpoints can be on for you. Things like this. Second is that there's no impact. There's no argument why perms are worse. Just the reason why they're also conditional. Use the SQO solves better argument. No, the SQO doesn't solve better. There's no reason why you should only defend the SQO. You don't have to defend the SQO. You can defend this traditional argument. The next argument, no impact to it. I'll concede substantive education first. Take out this offense now. Yeah, they don't meet the reasonability rate line. They don't meet the counter term. It's in the voters. It was holding seat now. Clash with both logic and ethics. The only thing that needs to be found an argument about Okay, I'll answer everything as comment works. I have some more time. Now, you say everything is conditional. No, it isn't. Obviously, if I go for deathbed against this app, you can't kick out of that. So you still have to defend your criminal impact, but you can kick out of also the Nigerian or counterclaims. Obviously, there's a different second because there's no impact of this. That should mean this is just at best negative defense. Okay, yeah, they violate their counterclaim and they violate their good. Do you want to talk in the hallway?
Huh?
Do you want to talk in the hallway?
You come to a decision on this now.